Alright, what is up? It is your boy Xole, and we're back with another how to sound like tutorial. So the way I find my artists is through y'all's comments, so be sure to go down and comment a new artist that you want to see me do. So KASBO was requested by Brian Doddle, so thank you for the suggestion. Great artist for me to cover. So KASBO makes like future bass, but it's sad. Very sad. He really likes to use his vocal chops. He's really good at creating melodies through his vocal chops. So I'm gonna show y'all how to do a KASBO style track through Ableton Live. So let's just hop right in. Alright, so as you can see, I have these little markers and it's showing me what I want to do for the track. So the way you can make these markers is just clicking on where you want them, going up here, right clicking, add locator, and then you can type in what you want to call that section. And not only are these super helpful at mapping out your track and seeing exactly where your parts are, you can just click on the markers and they will play your track from that area. So we have an intro, a verse, a pre-chorus, a build-up, and then a drop. And that's how I want to map out my track. So before we do anything, we are going to want to set the BPM, and I'm just going to go with 100. You can do whatever you want. I think 100 is going to be a nice chill future bass BPM. So let's figure out our instruments. So for the intro, the verse, the pre-chorus, and the build-up, I want some piano-based instruments. And then the drop, we're going to get some synth keys. So let's just do insert MIDI track. I know I want two different instruments. One's gonna be a piano. This could work. This could be like low chords, and then we definitely want a grand piano. So now I'm just going to Control-Shift-M, create a MIDI selection, and I'm just gonna draw out some chords. So we have the piano little playing some low chords. And then I might have like a melody going along with this with another instrument. And then verse 1 starts with the grand piano. So we're gonna have to throw on an EQ to take off the highs for this piano little. There we go. And then let's add some reverb and some EQ to this grand piano too. There we go. And this Valhalla is a reverb that I bought, but you can easily just go into your reverbs through Ableton, and they have just as many really good reverbs. So just choose one. For the grand piano, I'd stick with one that doesn't really focus on the highs. It's kind of like a mid reverb. So I think I also want a kalimba, because KASBO really likes those kalimbas. So we're just gonna go to our instruments, go to mallets, bright marimba, there we go. And then we're just gonna hold down Control, drag this down, there we go. All right, so I ended up shortening these marimba notes. And then I added a melody with this glass piano. And it has some echo on it. And then we're gonna get some drums with verse 1. So let's just make some drums. You're gonna want to stick to some drums like a shaker, some really airy drums, some percussive sounds like that. Alright, so here are our drums, and I ended up just grouping them all. And the way you can do that, you can just select your tracks and then Control G. So here are drums. I have reverb going through the group. So this reverb is affecting all of these drums, and it's just a really easy way to limit your CPU. And it's just some bright reverb with a lot of decay. And then with the pre-chorus, we're getting some bongos coming in. So I kind of like the verse 1 to just have the drums, no vocals. And then on the pre-chorus, through the build-up, through the drop, we're just gonna repeat a vocal chop that we're gonna make. And vocal chops are really hard to do. So if you have your own vocal samples, you can just use those. But if you don't have your own vocal samples, I suggest you watching my flume video. And in that video, I actually end up downloading an acapella from Ariana Grande, and I turn that into my vocal chop. But for this video, I'm just gonna find some vocal chops, and the way you want to do this, so let's say we get this one. You're gonna see if it's in key. See, that's not in key, so you're just gonna have to, it's really just trial and error. You're gonna have to keep detuning, maybe, and a lot of times after multiple failed attempts, you're just gonna have to find another vocal chop. So here's our vocal chop. So I'm just gonna show you the main vocals. I use automation on the build-up. I have this EQ right here, and this 8th knob is going to slowly rise up to bring in those highs as the build-up builds in. And this took me probably 20 minutes. It's going to take a while to find out what kind of chops you want. As you can see, I ended up pitching this up 8 semitones, and then this one was -4 semitones. So the vocal chops you have are not going to fit your song right away. You're going to have to use trial and error and pitch and detune and just do all of that dirty work until you can find something you like. So we have this main vocals. It's going to be during the drop. And then to add a little bit more spice, I ended up duplicating this track. And then as you can see, this is pitched up 20 semitones, which is actually 12 more semitones than this one. So that means it's a whole octave up. So it's still going to be in the same range as the main vocals, but it's just going to be a whole octave up. And I ended up pitching everything 12 semitones up. So basically I just grabbed all these and then pitched it up 12 semitones. So our second vocal chain sounds like this. And then both of them just adds a lot more flavor. So I actually have the pitched up vocals in the pre-chorus, and then the build up, you start getting the main vocals coming in, and then the drop's gonna come in. So the drop's the biggest part of a KASBO style track. So we're gonna want to get some synth keys. So let's just find some synth keys that we like. All right, so here's our drop. So let's listen to the first synth key. Now we're adding the second one. And then the third. This one might be a little bit too. So that's a big point in making a heavy future bass styled drop, is adding multiple synth keys. Because if we just had our main one, which is the floating, I mean, it's powerful, but it's not like powerful, you know? And then here are our drums. We have a crash. We have some hi-hats, some shakers actually, a kick. And your kick's going to be super simple. You don't want your kick to take away from the track. And then we have a clap paired with a snare. And then here is our bass. This is just an Ableton normal bass. Added some EQ, took the sides out of the lows, which you're going to want to do. And then as you can see, there's a reverb right here. And the reverb's going to be in the build-up. And I just automated it. As you can see, it's on right here, and then in the drop, it turns off. So let's listen to this build-up. Okay, so that's pretty powerful, but it's missing one thing, and that is a riser and then maybe adding another like cymbal crash in there. All right, so here is our riser and cymbal crash. I actually added it in the start too, so let's give it a listen. And then in the drop. And without risers, your track really doesn't get the anticipation that you're looking for. It's just kind of abrupt. But with the risers, you're kind of told like, hey, a drop's about to go down. Alright guys, I'm going to play you a little snippet at the end of this video. The full track will be on SoundCloud. The link will be down below, so check that out. Alright guys, I hope this video helped y'all out. If you want to see another artist in particular, go down to the comments and just comment their name, and you might get chosen. Big shout out to Brian Dottle for suggesting KASBO. Really liked making this track. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Seriously, please subscribe and like and comment. Really help the channel out. Peace.